responsibility and renewed optimism. Over the last 2 days, this summit has not merely been a meeting of minds. It has been a convergence of vision, evidence, and commitment. The rich discussions, technical presentations, and stakeholder contributions have reaffirmed what we already know. The steel sector is not just an industry. It is the backbone of industrialization, national security, and economic sovereignty. Our gathering here has made it clear that if Nigeria is to industrialize, diversify its economy away from oil and gas, and create sustainable jobs, we must urgently and strategically transform our steel and metallurgical sectors. The outcome of this summit will serve as a primary resource for the development of the National Strategic Plan for Action for the steel and metallurgical sector, a 5-year blueprint to guide our step towards productivity, global competitiveness, and sustainability that will take us to year 2030. This plan would define targets, timelines, funding strategies, and monitoring frameworks to ensure accountability and measurable results. From the technical papers, panel discussions, and stakeholders' interventions, several strong consensus points have emerged. 1, revitalization of legacy assets. We must, is no longer an option, we must complete the Ajaokuta Steel Plant and revive the National Iron Ore Mining Company, NIOMCO, using a phased and pragmatic approach through a privatization process, prioritizing key production units and separating primary plant completion from external infrastructure delays. 2, infrastructure and connectivity. Rails, ports, and road links are non-negotiable for a competitive steel industry. Dedicated freight corridors, port modernizations, and private sector-driven logistics investments are urgent priorities. Thirdly, energy security for steel. The steel sector can no longer rely on the unstable national grid supply. Captive power plants, dedicated gas pipelines, and renewable integration must form part of the sector's energy blueprint. Fourthly, technology and human capital, which was covered by the last panel discussions. Modernization of plant technology, introduction of energy-efficient processes, and structured partnerships between industry, academia, and research institutions will drive innovation and skill transfers. 5, policy and governance. We must adopt and implement a national steel policy with clear targets. 6, funding and financing. The Steel Development Fund must be fully funded and supported whilst we pursue diverse financing channels, including PPPs, BOTs, infrastructure bonds, and partnerships with development finance institutions. Market protection and value addition. We would enforce strict quality standards, restrict export of unprocessed ores, and promote local beneficiation to ensure Nigerian steel competes regionally and globally. From these 7 outcomes that I've outlined, the Federal Ministry of Steel Development, with the full support of the federal government, will immediately prioritize the following 8-point agenda. 1, develop and launch a national strategic plan for action for steel and metallurgical sector within 6 months. 2, fast-track Ajaokuta completion and NIOMCO revamp. Within the next 12 months, we will conclude the technical and financial framework, which is the technical and financial audit, for the phased completion of Ajaokuta and the restoration of NEOMCO operations, starting with production-ready units. Thirdly, we would launch the National Steel Policy Implementation Framework and push for the enactment of the Metallurgical Industry Act. Like Mr. President said yesterday, we have 3 bills at the National Assembly. We plan to get this bill passed and institutionalize the policy and regulatory framework that is needed to attract sustainable investments and guarantee predictable operating conditions in the country. Fourthly, establish the Steel Sector Infrastructure Compact in partnerships with the Ministry of Transportation, Marine and Blue Economy, as well as Power and other ministries, which was why about 6 or 7 ministers were in attendance yesterday and today. We would aim to deliver a coordinated plan for rail, port, and energy accessibility to the steel sector. Fifth, operationalize the Steel Development Fund. The fund will be targeted at the plant rehabilitation, technology upgrades, and raw material beneficiation projects with high economic returns. So there's going to be value for money for the Steel Development Fund. Sixth, institutionalize industry-academia collaboration. I was delighted to see a lot of professors here today. Like Mr. President said, government can lead, but we need the support of academia, we need the support of private sector to believe in what we are doing and to back it with funding so that we can deliver these results. We will set up a national research, steel research and innovation hub to bridge industry needs with research outputs, pilot plans, and manpower development. Seventh, we will strengthen regulatory and quality control frameworks. We need to eliminate all the issues of building collapses, bridge collapses, all of those things. We would establish a strengthened market surveillance and product certification regime to eliminate substandard steel products and build stakeholder confidence. Lastly, promote private sector-led growth. Concessions, privatizations, PPPs, and BOT models, we would look at all of the above and design models that would attract credible investors while protecting Nigeria's strategic interests. Distinguished guests, in conclusion, I would like to draw your attention to the steel sector's transformation. It is no longer a dream, it is now an imperative. We have moved, like the president or the vice president said yesterday, we have moved from words to now action, which is why I've listed out all the action plans that will be implemented within the next 1 year. The world will not wait for Nigeria. If we delay, we risk being locked out of a competitive industrial value chain of the 21st century. This summit has given us a clear mandate and concrete recommendations which I've reeled out. From today, my ministry will work with all relevant agencies, with private sector and development partners to turn this recommendation into actionable projects monitored and delivered with transparency. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the journey ahead would demand discipline, partnership, and unyielding commitment to excellence. We have the vision, we have the roadmap, and we have the collective will. Let us now move from resolutions to results, from dialogue to delivery. The steel we build will be the spine of our nation's industrial might, the engine of our economic diversification, and the foundations for generations yet unborn. Thank you all for your attendance, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I think the Honorable Minister deserves more than you've just said.